Good morning.
Good morning, Benji. Good morning. How are you?
Welcome back. How did you? How were the stairs today? Any halfway praying or?
We negotiate the stairs just fine.
Wow.
I'm practicing when I'm going to climb the stairway to heaven. No escalator to heaven. You have to walk up.
You got to walk it.
One at a time. I thought we would look at the title of Parents and Children today.
Parents and Children.
Now, you've been both a parent and a child.
Now I have.
And I have been a parent and a child. And Erica has been a parent and also has been a child. We have a lot to thank our childhood, our time in our families, depending on the families. Some have had very unfortunate and painful growing up. I have been fortunate in growing up in a very peaceful family. We did not have everything we wanted. I didn't get my own soccer ball till I was several years old.
Okay.
Until then, we used to find old soccer balls and stuff them with old socks and kick the heck out of it, and then do it all over again.
Fantastic training.
It is. So, children can make or break the home. That's my opening statement.
Okay.
And the home can make or break the children, which has happened many times.
It's a hand-in-hand scenario.
We often talk of broken homes, meaning the separation and divorce of parents, but have you ever talked in terms of broken children? A look around will show us how starkly real this problem is.
October 1st, 1967.
Wow.
/ November 2024.
Yes, it is ever new. And I've worked with many families, and my heart has broken often, and I've seen the turmoil that is not necessarily caused by children or by parents, but both suffer sooner or later. America, they tell us, I don't know statistics, how true it is, that over 50% of homes in America are single-parent homes.
Okay. I thought it was higher.
Maybe it's higher by now. This is about 10 years old statistic.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe you're closer to reality there as to what the figures are. I don't know. And today, with all the addition of social media, every kid 4 years and up has his own or her own cell phone. They have access to whatever they please to have. Oh, I can't imagine anything like that.
It's the information superhighway has become much more accessible.
So we need to talk about that. What is happening to help our families stabilize so that they can grow healthy children? That's something else. There are thousands of localities in this country where broken and rebellious youth express their hostility and cold hatred of modern organized culture, which includes within it the home, the church, the school, law, and government. Now, what has happened? What has gone wrong in the lives of these young people? Dare we seek clues as far back as when life began for them in the home? We dare and we must. For there is a critical point in the development of their personality.
And there is underlined.
I've underlined there, the locality.
There where the daring and where we must go is where the critical point in the development.
Okay, now each home is different. I don't dare generalize.
Of course.
But I know enough, even in my own nuclear family that I belong to, there are those who are growing up in very tough circumstances.
Agreed.
Children, grandchildren. Children in many a modern home today are being manipulated more and being loved less and less. What do you say to that?
I'd say I'm really lucky that I have somebody with 2 masters in early education guiding me as a father.
Yeah, no, good.
So I can avoid possibly most of this, but it sounds like it's out there a lot. I know I see it quite often.
Yeah?
Too often.
My wife and I go to restaurants, we sit down, and to keep the children quiet, each one has his own cell phone. And the parents, they sit there, each one, and I say, what kind of family life is that? Well, that's life today. Manipulation means using something as a tool to achieve one's wishes and purposes. The child is quote-unquote loved only if he acts in conformity with the parents' wishes.
Oh, there's that word again.
Yeah.
Conformity.
Conformity.
We were talking about it as it applied to churches.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about it how it applies to a
family.
A parent-child dynamic.
Yep.
That word is starting to get a lot of...
it's a good word.
becoming one of the big keywords on our channel.
I like it. And our wishes are those which will place us parents primarily in positions of comfort and security. It's not the comfort necessarily of the child, but the parent.
Preach.
That's primary.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Okay, so the child is crowded into a narrow box, the dimensions of which have been dictated to the parents in turn by their own society, community, church, and nation. So we as parents are also manipulated people.
Of course.
Okay?
Media can change hearts and minds depending on what they want.
Their social circles, their friends, whatever. And soon the child learns that the word love is a tool used by parents to gain their own ends.
Ow.
Uh-oh.
Ow.
I
think we lost a few viewers there.
I mean, am I pressing on a raw tooth?
You are, but that raw tooth needs the proper treatment. It needs to be removed. So
Yeah. So the child, like all people, learns early to seek the dignity of individual personality. And when this is denied, he fights his environment and dies internally. We kill the spirit. We kill often the creativity of the child because we don't know how to deal with it.
I have somebody with a double master's behind you nodding for the last 4 minutes.
What do you say?
A double master's in early education, and I am surprised she hasn't said anything by now because she's off camera, but you're going to get whiplash from nodding so much.
What we are seeing in the world of adolescence is a tragic consequence of a chain of events that began as early as infancy. Now, it continues the other.
It's certainly... Don't worry, folks. It's not over yet.
True love seeks for the child his or her physical, mental, spiritual, and social development. And fundamental to this growth is training in decision-making. How do we make decisions? Why do we decide what we decide?
A lot of times parents make decisions on how much time they have.
Okay, that's one. How much time they have.
Their emotional state.
Their resources.
I would also say probably the close people that their cohorts. Okay. The people they depend on when they don't know what to do, they turn to.
Their association with their friends.
Yes.
Okay. And seeking, again, the word, seeking conformity with their social peers.
Nobody wants to stand out and look stupid.
That's right.
Nobody wants to take off the wool and not be a sheep,
and
except for a select few.
And so what we do is we seek those who are like us, or we are so pliable, we mold into by the group, and we want to stay there because they become our primary source of emotional security. Okay?
I'm also applying this to some possible congregations.
Oh my, possible, many congregations. Look how many, I've read the biographies of people who grew up in very strict religious environments. Take the Amish, for example. If they don't conform, they're thrown out. They are shunned. The word shunning.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and
in movies too.
And there are those who've done it, but many don't because they don't know what to do when they step out. And so the church has a tremendously important responsibility of not manipulating its membership, but truly feeding them what they need to grow in accordance with God's grace and love.
And helping with the child, the development of the child is something that I know as a parent, and talking with other parents is always something that we are very thirsty and hungry for. Mm-hmm. It's the ability to measure ourselves against, a litmus test, a watermark, something we know that will be good. But it is hard to discern what is good and what is not, depending on the conformity level.
And what happens if the parents have children in a church or an environment that is not healthy?
Well, it can really take a look. I'm going to make a statement here, because when it comes to like hiring people for my company, a lot of people ask me why I tend to hire people with no experience. I say because it's easier to train good habits than it is to untrain bad habits.
Yeah.
So I can understand how, if you're taught wrong from the beginning, how it's much harder to undo those wrong teachings and teach the right ones rather than just starting fresh.
Well, this is true. And yet Jesus talked of a new birth, a new beginning. Adults can have new beginnings, and I've seen it happen, but it's a challenge. It's quite a challenge. And I say to those who are their peers in the social or religious group, be very careful that you don't harm. There's a new baby, even though the person is an adult, is a new baby. The way you take care of a new baby.
I was that new baby.
Okay.
I've recently baptized on the steps of Tustin Presbyterian Church.
Yeah.
I still have part of the plastic wrapping on. I'm such a new Christian. I have not. Taking Jesus into my life is something that's happened in less than a year ago. So I understand the difference, and I've been told by other pastors the difference between mature Christians and what we'll call infancy type Christians.
Okay,
and that's where I fall as an infancy type.
And let me ask you a question. Have you been nurtured in this new relationship?
I have been nurtured very well, and I chose to be nurtured by many, not one.
Okay.
And that's where I've got my perspective from.
They're not contradictory to each other?
Well, a couple of them are, but most of them are actually the same, which gives me comfort, which is why I worship where I worship.
Okay.
Because the people around me, there's a select few who all have been voted deacons recently for some reason. This new deacon class is like a new draft class.
We're running out of deacons.
Well, not anymore. We've got a lot of new, very, very, very contemporary type deacons in this class. And it's very interesting to me that the people I've leaned on have recently become deacons at where I worship. So I think I got lucky.
Well, that's good. Now, what you need is time. A baby needs time to grow. And just like the parents know that, they feed, they nurture, they protect, and give that baby time to grow. You've got to give yourself, I've got to give myself time to grow. The desire to achieve immediately our objective is such a strong force in us that it distorts our own perspective and our own ability to mature properly.
Agree.
And in the process, we find that which is challenging, that which is sounds contradictory or negative or unwanted.
Okay.
But the key is the people we are connected to in the group, just like the child is connected to the parent. They're the parents. And how we are going to maintain our ability to stay connected even at times when it gets to be very stormy.
And it will get stormy.
It will, and it does, as we've talked before. And I welcome you in that regard, and hopefully I am part of the process to help you.
You are. You're part of my village.
Okay.
It takes a village to raise, right?
Amen.
Not just a baby, not a physical baby, but
That's
also a
very
spiritual
true.
baby. Yes.
And blessed are those who actually had real villages in which they could grow. I had a village in the midst of...
I think you actually had a village, though. I think that's the difference, is we say it's a village, but I think you actually grew up in a village.
Oh, yeah, I did. It's what I'm saying. I had a village. There were several families. It was a small church, but we're very close to each other.
Well, you didn't have streetlights. You didn't have some paved roads.
But we had each other.
Yes, but I'm saying that is, I think, what got you that close-knit bonding. There weren't as many distractions as there are today.
And it was during the Second World War of all times.
Talk about a time to have faith.
So how could somebody like me, in times of war, in times of great anxiety, times of deprivation, we did not have, for example, we could not buy white sugar, no sugar, no white flour.
Oh, my doctor just told me to give up both. So
Okay, so we had to do away with a lot of things. But we had each other. We had people who loved each other. And my parents were wise enough to allow me to assert my personality without forcing their will every time I turned around.
I want to enter in a comment from a man named Joe Jellybean Bryant, who's the father of Kobe Bryant.
Oh.
And that's why Kobe's middle name was Bean, Kobe Bean Bryant.
Oh, okay.
And Kobe went through a spurt where when he first started playing basketball, he went through his first tryouts, his first camp, his first season, and he didn't score a single point. Not one point, not a layup, not a free throw, nothing.
Yeah.
And he went to the sideline, and his father told him something that changed his life forever. And it's really in line with this. He said, son, whether you score 0 points or 60 points, I'm still going to love you. And this is when Kobe decided, well, I want to score 60, but I know I'm loved, so I don't have to play basketball well to be loved. Now I can play it because I love basketball.
Well, wonderful.
And it was an amazing quote. Is
great.
there any more to read here? I'm hoping, did we get through it? Because
I'm not quite sure.
let's go with parents. Parents, we cannot train our children.
The decision making. Help children to grow so that they'll make decisions. Decisions, there will be the wrong decisions, but allow them to make mistakes, to make the wrong decisions. And be there, as you say, with Kobe's dad, with love.
Yep.
Never do it to gain the love of the father or the mother. No, it should be there. It should be a given.
I got another one for you.
Yeah.
Baby Bruce Wayne falls down a well, right?
Who's Baby Bruce Wayne?
Baby Bruce Wayne, Batman, before he was Batman, when he was like 6, 7 years old.
Okay.
He fell down a well. That's where he first found the bats.
Oh, that's where they come from.
His father gets on a rope and traverses down, and little baby Bruce Wayne's at the bottom of this dried up well, and his father gets down there. Of all the things he could say, he says, "Why do we fall, Bruce?" And Bruce Wayne looks at him, and little Bruce looks up and, "Why? Why do we fall?" And his dad says, "So we can learn to pick ourselves back up."
Good.
I still use that with my son to this day. The ability to make mistakes, the ability to fail forward.
And that's what I'm talking about here. children have this right which is inalienable. Right to make mistakes is what I'm talking about. If fearing the loss of faith in the community, church, or society, we deny our children this right, then we do them great wrong. This will result in either gradual rebellion or the breaking of their spirit, in the loss of creative spirit, and in the gaining of a no-initiative, uninterested, and uninteresting personality, which really is the absence of life itself.
Gone with the falling leaves, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So, as parents, what a joy it is to see children grow up with creative. I have a daughter who was just with me, and she has several wonderful children, very creative, but they did a lot of things when they were growing up, which gave them a lot of fear. Broke a bone, or this or that, or in playing football or whatever. So I cherish. Now, my dilemma is, what do we do in America to help families be families again and not broken up into little pieces?
Well, if you're talking about asking a question, my friend, that is the question.
That is the question.
There's nothing more prominent than that. And I know a lot of people are on the edge of their seats right now waiting for the answer.
Okay. So the answer is connect with those who love you, who can help you to love your child or your children, and the best you can, whether you have a partner there or not, rejoice, celebrate, make it a positive experience daily for your child. And I think God will fill the vacuum of the absence of another parent with the love that is shared in different ways.
Different people.
Different, creative, and
maybe even pets.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of love in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. Pets. As long as you don't substitute pets for people, I see this beginning to happen.
Beginning.
Anyway, I
have somebody I know that's very close to me that puts her dog before her.
Oof, boy.
And it's tough to see. As a matter of fact, that dog has had over $15,000 in surgeries. And so it's about a $25,000, $30,000 dog overall for about.
Oh my goodness!
Years. I mean, that's a house. So I'm not trying to say that dogs are bad. I'm just trying to say codependence is bad.
Well, this is it. You can use pets as substitute partners in a way that's negative. That's destructive.
It is destructive.
Yeah.
And it's hard to watch, but it is quite common here in America now.
Yeah.
But I guess do you have any dog? Are there any ones you wrote on dogs in 1960?
No, I don't think I did. We were lucky to have dogs and cats as pets. We never paid a penny for them. I don't know where we pick them up. I used to love my dog, and I used to do the best I could to nurture the dog and everything. They ate only bits and pieces, leftovers from our table. We never bought. There was no pet food to be bought.
Wow!
When I grew up,
you fed them what you fed them.
We fed them, and we were hungry. They were hungry.
The pet food market is billions.
Oh, it has become
billions.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
And you fed them table scraps.
Yeah, we fed them paper scraps and leftovers. Our cat, same thing, and. We had a good time with them. They were happy pets, as far as I know.
Happy Pets in 1967, Happy Pets 2024, completely different way to pay for it.
These pets I'm talking about were in 1940s, when I was a kid.